Welcome back to the Fit Minute Podcast, where we talk all things health, fitness, and lifestyle. I hope you enjoy the show. Welcome back. I'm your host, Gabby Mazar, and on today's episode, I have Bela Castro. She's a lifestyle and spirituality coach, and today we're going to talk a lot about healthy living, how to find the right people, and how to just be healthy and the spirituality and lifestyle of that as well. So welcome to the show, Bela.
Thank you so much for having me, Gabby. I'm super honored to be here.
Of course. So let's start by having you tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are and what you do, how you got into what you do.
Yes, so I'm originally from Brazil. I grew up there since I was born, and then I turned 18. I decided to come to play tennis here. I played tennis since I was 7 years old, so I was a former tennis player. After I graduated, even though I did business management, 4 years after college, I went through a massive breakthrough. I passed through a divorce, which most of us, when we go through some type of betrayal emotionally, we pretty much go through a lot of pain that wakes us up to our potential. And in my case, was realizing how I loved health in general. And I dive deep into really tapping into the mind, body, and soul into a whole different level in order to not only heal myself, but help other people heal themselves and really connect with their mind and body and start glowing from inside and out. So now I help people go from healing, connecting, and glowing from within. That's pretty much how I work with them. And it's a beautiful journey to go through. I founded BeFit in 2021. And since then, it has been just blessings after blessings, a lot of growth, a lot of, ups and downs, but here ready to tackle all the learning lessons along the way.
So what exactly do you do like with BeFit? What kind of people do you work with? And what is it that you do? What kind of people come to you?
Yes, that's a very good question. So I started running challenges. That's what BeFit was all about, mind and body connection. And then when I found the spiritual connection, I decided to actually work on memberships where people sign up and to work with me. I work with mainly women, and there's a lot of men also seeking my help lately when it comes to just finding themselves, finding their career path, finding their levels of uh, I don't know, relationships, right? Like, are they actually pursuing the right relationships? Are they actually in tune with their bodies, right? Are they exercising correctly to prevent any type of injuries or helping them with the actual health? So now I'm more embodying not only the health programs, but the life coaching aspect of it, which is the direction of their lives in all aspects. So women and men, entrepreneurs, people that are seeking growth, people that are seeking a deeper understanding of themselves, but also overcoming their own challenges, which sometimes we can get stuck in doing that on our own.
Yeah, so you work with a lot of people that are trying to figure things out on their own, but what do you feel is the importance of people surrounding themselves with the right people or surrounding themselves with a tribe or a community?
Oh, I love that question. So, proximity is power. If you are around the people that will empower you to wake up to your potential, it's going to be a much exciting path rather than you walking in that path on your own. So, a lot of times when people are resistant to change, right, it comes from also undermining their potential and putting a ceiling into their growth. And that ceiling in our growth can really get there very easily if there's no leverage around us. So if we see people that are winning in different directions, it's so much easier for us to also put that path of, okay, well, if people are growing that direction, I can also do it, right? And not only to compare, but rather to motivate, to inspire, to enlighten your path. And especially, I think a lot of coaches out there, they're walking the talk. They have the power to empower you to be, wow, like if that person went through it, then that means that I can go through it as well. And we can shorten the path rather than taking 10 years to accomplish one thing. You can accomplish that in a few months, and that's literally what coaching is all about. You're paying for somebody to lead you to the path to success much faster and easier than you would do on your own.
Yeah, I think we definitely, it is all a mindset, like our health and our fitness, just a path to success is definitely mindset. And if we have people to support us along the way, and we have a coach that is telling us, these are the steps to do these things, you can reach that goal a lot faster and kind of not fall off as many times because you have the support of other people around you for sure. So why would you say that people should invest in a coach, or why would you say that people should invest in themselves, and what does that mean to you?
Yes, I'm going to give my own example, because when I was going through panic attacks after my divorce and feeling on my lowest, I could not do it on my own. I could not rely on even my boyfriend at the time or even my friends at the time to really understand what I was going through. So I needed to seek help of people that have gone through similar paths, and that I could see a light at the end of the tunnel, right? I could see people that have done what I was trying to accomplish. So for me, it was a way out of that misery mindset that I was going through to really create the path. They have the paved path to success, right? Either in business or in health or in spiritual guidance or whatever that is. There's coaches out there for everything now to lead you to the success, because they already went through a much more painful path that you did, that they can shorten that painful path for you. So for me, the investments that were thousands and thousands of dollars that I have already done to myself were the catalyst of the change that I have made to be the best version of myself every day, right? And the only thing that coaches do more than anything, if they are a good coach, is to not just motivate you to be better, but rather to walk you through that path of self-discovery, right? To unlock the doors that need to be unlocked in your path of success that might be closed off because there's fears, there's insecurities, there are limiting beliefs that you alone are not able to see it. And they will showcase to you. They will put on the spotlight. They'll be like, no, this is what you need to work on. And you're like, oh my God, it's so scary. But in the end of the day, it's what you need to go through, right? And that investment in your growth will lead you to much better experiences in your life, more than anything you can possibly imagine, because there's no better investment than you. Investment on cryptocurrency or real estate, fantastic. Like that's, material stuff. But your mind, body, and soul, if it's in the right place and it's in alignment, then you can actually attract and manifest the other material stuff that you want, right? So it's just like even more empowering, because things come and go, but yourself, it's like nothing can take that away from you. Your integrity and what you learn, your intellectual property, nobody can take that away from you.
Yeah, I think I think it all comes down to also having a coach helps to kind of point out things in you that you may not necessarily see, or helps you to uh, attract or be aware of patterns that you have, or things that you're doing, or things that you want to do but you're not even aware you want to do. So it's that self-awareness. How do you think that ties into what you do as a coach?
I think that self-awareness is one of the first steps into self-discovery. When we look inwards is when we find the answers that we're seeking. So if you are self-aware, you already are facing the mirror, right? Which is very tough for a lot of people to even look themselves in the mirror for more than a minute. So that means that we have to face some things that we are not fully prepared to face, but it's the first step, right? So self-awareness is one of the first things that I like to address, is to really uncover what you truly are, not what you say you are, but what you truly are, what you truly displaying to be, right? And now you can actually match who you're displaying to be with who you're saying you are. And then who you say you are, you then become what your actions are. But the first step is to actually acknowledge that you do have some flaws and you do have some stuff to work on, right? And for me, seeing how many flaws I had and how many things I had to go through in order to liberate myself, right? Because you have to literally forgive yourself for everything, all the path that you put yourself on that might have not been exactly what you look for, but you're not prepared to face some fears. That when you were prepared, then you're put in that spot because everything happens for you to learn something. And self-awareness is definitely the most important part of like, hey, I do need to change. I do need to make something different here. And I'm kind of tired of going through the same loop over and over again. And I think we all face that, right? Some sort of way we face that, either in our health, in our relationships, in our career, or in all the above. So if we are self-aware, we can actually step up and like say, okay, well, I'm done with this. Let's move forward to the next phase, right? So it's very important.
Yeah, I think if you're aware of, if you are self-aware, then you know what actions you're taking and what actions you need to take to change and grow as well. So if whether it's mindset, whether it's nutrition, whether it's exercise, whether it's business, whether it's relationships, you have to be aware of the actions that you're taking. No matter who is on the other side or what's on the other side, you have to know what your part or your role in it is, because if you're neglecting that, then there is no change. There is no advancement because you're not acknowledging your part or your role in whatever you're doing. So it's important to, I think you're right. I think that is the first step, because how do you change if you don't know what you need to change?
Yes. And then I think that, for example, I have a lot of clients, they're the type A personality, which I'm personally not,
Yeah.
but I do
Oh,
have
I
some
am.
people that
Here.
are. Exactly. So let's address that because it's something that is important, right? Because the type A personality is very perfectionist, is very OCD, is very like everything needs to be perfect before I even make a move. However, that is a very interesting type of fear, right? That perfectionism is a type of fear that prevents us from moving to our next step. For me, is impatience, right? I'm very impatient, and I know that that is a draw line. That's a fear also, because I'm acting from a place of lack. I already have everything I have here, but I'm impatient to get to the next level. Like, no, absorb what you have now. And in the type A personality, the perfectionism is like, you'll always be perfect for you. You'll never be somebody else. You have to really be perfect for you, right? And analyzing the external world can corrupt your happiness, because you're never going to be able to be in somebody else's shoes ever. You're only going to have the shoes that are fitting your perfect feet, your perfect body, your perfect mind. You're unique. You have 74 trillion cells. They're only yours. Nobody can take that away from you, right? Unless you go through some sort of situation. But other than that, your body is yours. Your mind is yours. Your soul is yours. There's nobody else that can have it. And let everybody else have theirs, and go through their own path. So that perfectionism is an illusion, and it's not going to take you far. Given that, I'm saying that take you as far as like everybody here that is listening that can relate to that message of trying to be perfect, because I think social media and like all this stuff that we're going through nowadays is getting us depressed and anxious because we're trying to live in a lie. We're trying to live in a reality that is not ours. We see people traveling around the world, we see people happy everywhere, but are they truly happy? Are they truly seeking their happiness? What is happiness to you specifically is the first question that I ask when I start coaching people. What is happiness to you? And most people get stuck in that simple question, which should be the question of their lives, right? So even to address that specific question is the most self-aware you can possibly be, to find out what your true happiness is rather than what the happiness of others mean to you. and why you are addressing their happiness as your own, and that comes from that sense of self-worthiness and self-love that I really like to get deep within, because it's the core of all our actions. Discipline is self-love. Consistency is self-love. All these things that we are all striving for comes from the source of how much we love ourselves and how much we respect ourselves and our time and our energy. So the more we get deep into that, the more the answer starts coming up and that self-awareness starts showing up, right? So going back to the point is, this is a very important topic for us to discuss and to address on a daily basis.
So if someone has an unhealthy mindset, how do you address that? So if someone needs to eat better or exercise or wants to change their habits, how can you hack that? How can you hack into their brain to make them be more healthy, I guess, overall? Not just necessarily for nutrition, not just necessarily for exercise, but just overall health.
Yes, that's an awesome question. There's always one key point, one key element, one key moment in your life that everything shifted. And it shifted your relationship with food. It shifted your relationship with money. It shifted your relationship with yourself. It's like a key few moments that are stored in your subconscious that you need to change. And I always try to go deeper on that. I know that we're getting super deep here, but I really want to uncover these things and help people overcome what they're going through. So getting to the root cause, I'm going to say that, for example, in my opinion, I was around a lot of money growing up, but there were money that people would just talk out of ego, right? So when I associated my relationship with money was always about, oh my gosh, I don't want to be rich because all these rich people are so greedy, right? Now I had to shift my relationship with money to be like, no, money is abundance. If I have more money, I can impact more lives. And if I can impact more lives, more people are going to be happy. If more people are happy, I can make a change in the world. So I shifted my relationship with money. In regards to food, if you have a bad relationship with food, it might be tied to an experience that you had in the past, directly or indirectly. Either your family didn't have good habits at home, and then you adopted those bad habits, or they were very stricted with you and they make you feel bad about eating certain things, right? And then you also had that restrictive mindset. So in either case, in what approach you need to overcome is to start reframing how you think about each relationship that you have with things that are blocking your path of success. But you have to go deeper on those key elements that you went through in your journey as a human, even as a kid or a young adult, that triggered you to believe in something that is not necessarily true, because you can really create whatever reality you want to create at any given moment of any day. You can wake up today and say, hey, I'm going to be the fittest, most amazing woman in the world. And you can make actions to make it happen, but you got to believe in that, right? So in order for you to reframe, you have to every single day work through those affirmations like, hey, I love healthy food that nourishes my body, that gives me the energy that I want. I love exercising. I love going to the gym. I get there super hyped and excited to make my body stronger, make my body more resilient, create the endurance that I want because I want to live longer. I want to feel happier and more satisfied with who I am. So I'm going to work out. Rather than, oh, it's difficult. Oh, it's complicated. No, it's so hard. Oh my gosh, getting out of here, it's so cold. You're putting boundaries on your success. And the only person putting boundaries on your success is yourself. There's nobody that is telling you to believe whatever you believe in. You are the one either filtering information and adopting as your own, or you're creating out of your own mind. But you don't necessarily need to abide to anything that anybody says, or you don't need to create negative emotions or associations with things unless you want to. So I try to help people reframe their mind to be more positive and to filter information about everything related not only to health, but relationships, right? For example, in my past relationship, I went through a divorce, right? And that divorce was related to a betrayal, like a unloyal person. And if I went and got out of, this relationship and I said, oh, because I got cheated on, then everybody's going to cheat on me. Imagine, I will attract that to myself. I don't want to attract that. I'm like, no, there's amazing men out there. They're willing to love me the way I deserve to be loved because I am love and I deserve love. Right? So then you start shifting even the patterns in your relationships. Career, the same way. If you didn't like a job, you don't necessarily have to say that you're not going to like all the other jobs. There's 10,000 companies out there that are ready to recruit you, right? So it's just like opportunities and possibilities are everywhere. We got to match the energy of the possibilities and experiences that we want to face in this lifetime.
Yeah, definitely reframing mindset, and you're when you say that to yourself, that those are your self-limiting beliefs. So you're the one putting that belief in your head, nobody else is. Nobody's giving that limitation to you but yourself. So,
Absolutely.
what guidance would you give someone um who compares themselves to others? So for people that are always comparing them. So we talked about social media and just the perfectionism, and I think that that's such a huge thing these days. But so for everyone who compares themselves to others or compares themselves to people on social media, what advice or guidance would you give to people like that?
So the first step is to look yourself in the mirror and love every inch of you, right? I say that it sounds very cliche, but I'm not kidding. Whenever you take your clothes off and love every inch of your body and admire who you truly are, you stop comparing. When not only you admire your body and everything that you are, but everything that you have, you are so in a gratitude mindset, right? You're so grateful for everything that you are and who you are and what you are at in your path of growth. You can you're gonna stop comparing yourself because you're gonna be so focused on giving yourself that love and that attention and that investing in yourself, right? I think nowadays what I try to work with my clients is to also understand that the first thing is to invest the time in you. The time and your energy should be in you rather than focusing your time and your energy on other people. First is you. Then everything that is, overflowing goes to other people. Why? Because when you fill your cup first, the way that you approach other people, the way you give your energy to others is going to shift, is going to change. And people are going to notice if you're operating from an empty or a full cup. They're gonna notice if you're actually glowing or if you're faking that glow, right? And that glow is so important. The first things come from filling your cup first before looking at other people's cup. And I think that's what's happening a lot of times is when people do fill their cups, then it generates that sense of jealousy. But again, the sense of jealousy or envy come from your inability to take ownership of your own life. So the first thing you have to do is to own your own life and stop victimizing or putting the blame on others or seeing the outside world as the problem, because sometimes you got to face that the problem might be on us, right? The problem might be, hey, I need to take action into fulfilling my dreams, into making things happen for me. Because every time I do that, then guess what? I feel more confident about who I am. I feel happier about who I am. And I find harmony between what I say and what I do. And that's the power that we hold within us with our choices.
Which again ties back to self-awareness.
Yes,
Yeah,
everything ties back to self-awareness.
right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if someone wants to work with you, wants to um needs a lifestyle coach, needs a spirituality coach, what kind of people would come to work with you?
People that are truly ready for change, that's the first step. You got to be really looking to dive in deep into who you are and ready to commit and understand yourself. I accept anyone that is willing to do that. Absolutely. Give your heart and soul into transforming who you are, is the first path to any type of personal development, right? And again, it comes from the self-awareness, like, yes, I do need help. Yes, I'm vulnerable enough to understand that this path will be much easier and enjoyable if I work with a coach, because she or he, in that case, me, will guide you to find the answers you're looking for, finding the path of enlightenment, finding the path that you will truly find joy in every single day of your life. That's what I would love to have.
And it takes work. I mean, it takes work you have to put the work into it. Otherwise, you're not going to get what you want out of it. So it's not like you can just have somebody tell you what to do and magically everything is going to be better. You have to put the work in too. It's a process to be, to get to where you want to be, no matter what you're doing. It's always going to be a process. So you have to put the work in on the other side as well.
Absolutely. Yes.
So if someone wants to work with you, they would find you at your website?
Yes, absolutely. You can guide them to bfitatl.com, or they can also send me an email at bella@bfitatl.com and just talk to me directly.
Awesome. Is there anything that you want to leave our listeners with today that you think is important for them to know?
Yes, choose you and life will choose you back.
That's true. Definitely. Because you're number one. You are number one. Without you, you don't have you. So choose yourself, put yourself first, invest in yourself, and you have to make sure that you're important and that you are putting in the work for yourself, because if you're not doing the work for yourself, then what's the point?
Yes, and I think that for everybody that is listening, to really put your hands on your heart and just feel, if you have every heartbeat, that means that you're alive. That means that you can change your path. That means that there's an opportunity for you out there waiting for you. That means that you have hope of a better and brighter future. So don't ever lose that hope inside.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Bella, for being on the show. I will have your website and your email listed in the show notes so that people can get a hold of you if they would like to work with you. bfit@atl.com. I really appreciate you coming in the show and talking about lifestyle and spirituality coaching. Appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you everyone for listening today, and we will see you all next week.